welcome back to Pips-N-Chits. Today I will be playing La Granja, no Siesta, published by Stronghold Games, and I will be playing the solo version of that. And I'm going to go ahead and use this box. I'm just going to turn it over here, and I'm going to basically use this as my dice tray. I was going to use a dice tower, but as you can see here, these dice are a little chunky, and they have some rounded edges, and sometimes when I put them in my dice tower, they kind of get stuck or they kind of roll a little oddly. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this, and it might be actually easier to see. I'm going to be playing the red player today, and that means I'm starting off with 3 of these discs, and these will be represented over here. I can gain additional discs once I go up this Siesta track here. As you can see, there's the 2nd position, maybe I think the 5th position and the 8th position. I could possibly gain another disc. The yellow player is actually a neutral player, and you kind of more or less try to beat your own score here. You're really not playing competitively against an AI opponent, but you're trying to maximize your points prior to the end of the game. And the game ends in one of 2 ways. Either the neutral player or myself makes it all the way up to this track, all the way at the end, and once we get up here, if we can, that's one way to end the game. So basically, you want to be ahead of the yellow player here. Any points that you would get, if there's a differentiation between these two, it's either an addition or subtraction of the points, depending on who's ahead. The second way to win the game, or it's actually not win the game, but signal the end of the game, is to go through these 18 roof tiles here. They are currently randomized in 3 stacks of 6. It really doesn't matter. You can make 1 stack of 18 or 2 stacks of 9. It's just easier to look at right there for me. So once all 18 of these roof tiles are turned over, that will also end the end of the game. And you notice here that there are 6 additional roof tiles here. The game comes with 24 roof tiles, but in the solo game, 6 of them will be set aside by random face down. And one of the helpers, and I'll talk about this in a second, one of the helpers would allow, if I ever get to choose a roof tile, I can not only can I choose one of the 18 that are face down, but I can also take one of these, compare the 2, decide which one that I like best, and then take that for myself and discard the other one. That's the only reason that these 6 are out here. Finally, we have my player board down here, my market, my farm, if you will. We have our player board here. These are double-sided boards, and notice here for the solo player, you want the single person icon showing on this for the market, and also for this Siesta track here as well. I earlier mentioned that there are a total of 7 dice. We're going to set aside 2 of the dice for the first turn. They will come back into play in a minute. Otherwise, we're going to take one of these dice right now. We're going to go ahead and roll it, and depending on what comes up, the neutral player is automatically going to block us from one of these 6 positions that are on the market board, and also he's going to block off one of these carts right here. So let's go ahead and roll the dice, and it is the grapes. So the first thing that is going to do is we're going to go ahead and mark off that right there. So for the remainder of the game, I cannot get points, which is kind of too bad for every helper I get. So notice there are 6 of these spaces right here. He has now blocked me. There's no way I can achieve those 6 points. I will have to get them in other means. And now, as far as what cart goes, let me look that up really quick. Okay, so the good news is he's blocked off the first cart. So in again, using the same dice, notice there are 3 carts down here. This top one is probably the easiest, but the first person that gets it would get 5 points, and the second person would get 3. The second cart is a total of 7 for the first player, and 5 points for the second player. And then again, this last card here is the hardest one. It has a total maximum value of 9 points and also 7 points for the secondary player. Well, because he has this grape right here, he's already marked that off. So there's no possible way that I can get those 5 points. The best I can get is 3 points. And one other thing, these carts right here, so there's 3 of them to fill up. If I fill them up, I get to put a disc back not only on the market itself, I will gain a commodity, but the neutral player here, notice there are 2 additional spaces, one right here and one right here. If his disc were ever to get up to those 2 spaces, he will cross off these cards in a numerical order. So it is kind of a race for me, if I want the 7 points to get this cart filled out before he makes it up there. Otherwise, he gets the 7 points, or at least blocks me from getting that. Okay, so we're ready to start the game, I believe. Oh, and I don't know if I said this earlier or not, but these are 6 tiles out here. These are the helper tiles. If for any of these sections here that I fill out completely, I will get to select one of these tiles here and place them on the section that I completed, and these will help score me additional points. They have some bonus features. The first couple of rounds of this game goes relatively easy, but maybe about a third of the way through, depending on where we are, there's some synergies available going on here. It gets a little confusing or a little taxing as far as trying to figure out all the different things and not to miss them. So if I slow down a little bit about halfway through the game, it's because I'm double checking everything that I have going on. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab these 5 dice. Remember, this game in the solo game does use 7. We put 2 off to the side here, and they will be introduced in a minute or so. But for the very first round, we're only going to roll 5. And what I want to do is I want to draft 1 dice for myself and give the neutral player a 2nd dice. Now, one thing I want to explain here is I'm looking for hats. Anytime he does not have a hat in this area here, his disc will move up, and I don't want that. However, if I get a hat, or at least 2 hats, not only does he stay, but I get to move mine up the track, which is kind of a good thing. So I want to see hats for both of us, one to slow him down and one to move me forward, depending on the order of how I play them. But for right now, you can see I went ahead and rolled 3 grapes. We rolled 1 pig and 1 combination of wheat and an olive. And I think for right now, I would like to start working on this right here. There's a lot of grapes going on, so why don't we go ahead? I'm going to go ahead and take 1 grape, and I'm going to give the neutral player the pig right now. So then we go ahead and take these 3 dice and roll again. And if I were to take this pig, he already has a pig, that from the previous roll, so he would end up moving up the track. So I don't really want him to move up the track, so unfortunately I'm going to give him this other pig, and I'm going to go ahead and take a coin for myself. And the coins will help me fill out some of these roofs up here, and they're also needed in these areas right there. And then finally we have the last dice. This is basically for myself. Well, that's great. Okay, I like to see that. So we roll the hat. So give myself a hat here, and now we move on to starting to mark our sheet down. So does he have a hat? Well, no, he doesn't have a hat. So unfortunately, he is going to move up 1 space up the board. I would have liked to have seen a hat earlier on to kind of block him. However, I don't have any pigs in what I rolled, so since I did not select anything that he did, he is also not going to move forward. That being said, I now get to go ahead and move these 3 or at least mark these in. So I think first we'll go ahead and use the grape. And I think, well, let's go ahead and start here with this grape. It might behoove me to start with these helper tiles here, to grab one of these to maybe start pumping up some of this other stuff. It wouldn't be necessarily bad to mark here either, but I'm not going to go ahead and do that. The second one, we'll go ahead and use this coin, and we'll mark off this first space for this roof. And then finally, this hat. I can use this hat right here. It's the only space I can use the hat, but the good news is I can also move up one. So we're now tied. Now, we're going to go ahead and take these two dice and move them up. Oh, you know what I should have done? I totally forgot to do this, and this is why I need to slow down a little bit. That first turn, I should have removed one of these tiles here to signify the round number one. So now I should have 17 left. Anyway, went ahead and rolled those two dice, moved them up to the front. Now the other two dice that we had in reserve, I'm going to take them and add them to my 5. So every round, these are going to go back and forth. So let's go ahead and roll these. And let's see. Okay, good. So we have one hat there. That will have him stop moving. That's good. So the second thing I want to do here is maybe I'll go ahead and take a pig this time around. And now we're going to roll these 3 dice. And let's see. Oh, you know what? I will definitely take this donkey. And I will go ahead and give him the wheat and the olive. The reason being is that's has 2 icons in it. I only have 1 disc left, so I really can't use it. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we will roll the last dice. And what is that? Okay, another donkey. Okay, so oh, and I did it a second time too. So, gosh, I'm already messing this up. So this was round 2. That tile should have been removed. So I have to remember to do that. Remove a tile every game. Or every round. So now let's go ahead and take a look at what I have here. Well, I have 2 donkeys. So I think the first thing that I would like to do is mark this donkey right there. And what that does is that immediately allows me to grab one of these tiles. So I'm going to grab this first helper tile and put it right there. Okay, I have a pig and a donkey left over. I think we'll go ahead and put the pig right here. And then I have one more donkey left. I could mark it here, or I could mark one of these carts. I think I'm going to go ahead and place it here. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at whether or not the player moves or not. There's a hat right there, so he does not move at all. Second, I did not select anything that he has right there, so he is not going to move. So we can go ahead and theoretically move these dice out of the way. They return to our rolling pool. These 2 will go up, and we can start the next round. Okay, moving into round 3. This time I went ahead and remembered. We're going ahead and move that third roof tile down, and we're going to take our 5 dice. Let me clear this off. And we want to go ahead and roll. And nice, we have a hat. So that's going to go ahead and freeze him more or less in place. See, what do I want? I guess I could take another pig and start maybe working on this bottom one here or another roof tile there. Um, anyway, I guess I'll go ahead and grab a pig. Roll the next 3. Okay, I will definitely take a coin like that, and I will go ahead and give him the donkey. And we will go ahead and roll. And awesome, I got another coin. So here's an interesting thing that we can do right now. Notice I have 2 coins right here, and I have this helper thing, which will allow me to move one of my stuff in any direction one time, hence the one time up here. I can go ahead and move this pig over to that coin utilizing this right now. That gives me a total of 3 coins. I can go ahead and fill out this very first one right here, and just for the heck of it, that gives me a commodity. So a commodity is basically wild, and I can use that for anything on the board right now. But it does not carry over. So I basically have to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and use that commodity. It is wild. I will go ahead and use it for another coin, and I will mark off this roof right here. So that has scored me 1 point because I finished this off. And now I get to select one of these by random here. We'll take the second one, I guess, and we'll mark that as our roof right here. Now I can use this grape at any single time during the game to mark off a thing here anywhere, whether it's up here at the top, one of these here, down here, or in the carts. So when I do finally use it, I will go ahead and flip it over. But for right now, this at the end of the game will at minimum score me 1 point. So let's go ahead and take a look at our neutral player. Well, our neutral player, he is not going to move because there is a hat right there. And look here, out of the 3 that I've chose, there's nothing up here. So he is also not going to move at all. So we are getting ready for the next round. Okay, we're moving into round number 4. We'll just go ahead and put that right down there. We'll take these back to our pool. These will move up towards the top. We've already cleared off our board here, and so let's go ahead and get rolling. Okay, well, I'm definitely going to give him a hat. I think I will go ahead and take a grape this time. I don't want to take the donkey because there's already a donkey there, and if I ever selected something that's up here, he automatically moves up a space on the track, so we don't want to do that. Okay, well, again, I don't want to take the donkeys, so that more or less limits me to grabbing a coin, and we go ahead and give him the donkey, and now we roll the last one, and give myself another coin. So, what can we do here? Well, there's a couple different things we can do here. I might go ahead and use this grape right here, because if I grab this grape and I move using this power, I move one of my coins over. That gives me 2 grapes plus this grape. That'll give me my 3rd grape. So why don't we go ahead and do that? I'm going to use this power here. I'm going to move a coin over to the grape. I'm going to use these 2 grapes here and this grape. Turn that over. That gives me 3 grapes. I'm going to go ahead and mark this. Not too shabby because each one of these is worth 2 points at the end of the game. I'm going to just grab one of these. Mind you, I have a commodity now. It's a freebie. I have two left. I have a coin here, and this could be what, you know what? Why don't we do this? This might not be a bad thing. I could either mark two roofs right here. That'll score me a point and get me another roof tile. Or we can go ahead and finish this off. That'll give me a point plus a helper. So why don't we do that? I'm going to use this commodity. I'm going to treat it as a wheat. So we will go ahead and use that wheat and mark this off here. And we will go ahead and use this coin and mark this off here. And that will give me another one, so another helper. So, boy, what do I like? Well, just to show you what these things do, maybe I'll grab this one for now. And the next time I fill out tiles, I get to choose not only a tile from here, but one of these tiles and make a decision based on that. Okay, so let's take a look. Does he move? No, he doesn't move. Did I select anything here that he has there? No. So again, no one's going to move. I already discussed that earlier. So we'll go ahead and move these up to the top. Grab these, and we're going to go ahead and move into the next round. So we go ahead and remove one of those tiles there. And what do we have here? So we have a donkey, a coin, and a grape. Well, I would really like to start working on some of these things here, maybe these carts. So maybe I go ahead and grab this grape for right now. And I will go ahead and give him a donkey. And roll again, hopefully get a hat. Uh-oh, no hats. So that's not good. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and give him another donkey there, and I will grab this grape, and we'll roll. So that gives me two grapes. We'll roll this one right there. Okay. So this one here, I could, because I don't have another disc, I can either use it for an olive or a wheat. I'm going to go ahead and use it for wheat because that's going to allow me to mark this one off. So let's get to marking our stuff out. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and use that wheat to mark this one here. And I think right now, I'm going to go ahead and grab this helper here. So anytime that I mark any three of these or any of the livestock, two of those, I will gain a coin for that. So that doesn't score me any points though, but if I do mark these off, I will get an additional coin. Now I have these two grapes that we're going to go ahead and use, and let's go ahead and try to work on a cart. And speaking of carts, I failed to probably mention here, you have to work on these from left to right. I can't fill in one of these grapes without filling in the olive or the wheat first. So you have to move in this order. Same thing down here. I can't just put things anywhere here. I have to fill out one thing here from left to right. So, all right. Unfortunately, he's going to move ahead here. There's no siesta for him. There was no hats roll, so he is going to move one up on the track. Good, but however, I did not choose because I have two grapes and this. Those don't meet any of that, so nothing. He didn't move for that, but he did move one ahead. So now we're going to move on to the next round. I'm going to take these out, put these up here. Oh my goodness, look at that. A lot of hats. So this is good, good and bad. Well, probably good. So one, we're going to block him. So he's not going to move. I'm going to go ahead and take, boy, Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take a hat. It doesn't help me in the sense there's nothing for me to score here other than this hat will move me up the Siesta track and will get me another disc. So we'll go ahead and roll the 3 dice. Okay, I will go ahead and take a pig this time around, and I will go ahead and give him a grape. Now we'll roll the 3rd dice, and that gives me a donkey. Okay, so first things first, we'll go ahead and move my stuff. So I've got a pig here, and I could either mark a pig down here or a pig here. I kind of think that we're going to grab the pig here. So that was the pig. Next, we are going to use the donkey, and like I said earlier, put that donkey right there. And now because I've completed that, not only do I score 1 point for the game, but now I get a coin. And I can use that. I have to use it this turn. So let's just go ahead and fill out this roof tile up here. Okay. Finally, I have a hat. There's nothing I've already marked the hat here. I can't mark it until I get to this area here, and I had to do 2 pigs previously. However, this will allow me to move up 1 and tie back with him. And because now I've reached that 2nd space, I get an additional disc. So now I'm going to be using 4 discs instead of 3. Okay, now let's talk about him. He is not going to move anything because he has a siesta. Now, this is where a lot of people get confused, and I'm kind of glad this came up. Notice that there's 2 donkeys right here. I also have a donkey. However, I did not choose that donkey. Remember, I roll the dice 3 times. If I were ever to draft that donkey, the first 2 rolls, that would be my choice, and then he would move up. However, the last roll is you get what you get. That's not a choice. I did not choose that, so theoretically, some people might say, hey, you need to move up. Technically, you don't, because it's only if you draft the dice by choice. I did not draft it by choice, therefore, this donkey, even though there's 2 donkeys up there, he does not move up there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move into the next round. And so we'll go ahead and put one of those tiles there, move these dice down here, move these up, and go ahead and continue. Okay, good. We will go ahead and give him another hat. That will effectively block him. And now, mind you, I have 4 of these. I'm going to go ahead and grab this, and I'm going to give myself both an olive and a wheat right there. Okay. Okay, well, I don't want the grape because that's already there. The donkey's not bad, but I'll go ahead and take the coin. Oops, I'm sorry, coin right there. And what did I say? I was going to give him the grape, I think, again. And roll this last dice. And it is a grape. Same thing what I just discussed. I have to take this. I don't draft it, but because that's there, it's not going to move. It's only moved if I were to pick it on those first 2 rolls. So that being said, we have another grape here. So let's go ahead and start our scoring for this round. So I'm going to go ahead and use this coin here, and I'm going to mark this one. I'm going to get a point at the end of the game, and now I get to activate this power. So I get to choose one of these by random, and now one of these first 6 tiles here that were set aside by random. I'm going to flip them over, Ooh, a tough call. So I either get one commodity for free this round, or I can use any time actually, or one victory point. I think we'll go ahead and take the commodity. And now this gets discarded. This is out of the game for the rest of the game. Okay, got three more things left to do. Well, kind of the perfect storm here. Actually, I could move up this. So I have a choice of a couple things I could do. Mind you, I have the olive, the wheat, and the grape. I could fill all three of these right here and grab myself a coin. And that would also get me 1 point. Or I could start working on this track here. That will get me halfway to getting 3 points. I think I'm actually going to go this route here because the most I can get for this one is 3 points. That's like a lot of work here to get up to 3 points, where this guarantees me at least one, and I get a coin for it. So I'm going to mark these three off right here. So that scores me a point at the end of the game, and because I filled out all three things in a warehouse, this power activates, and that gives me a coin. So now I get to decide where do I want to put the coin. Why don't we go ahead and put the coin right here? That might help me fill out these two spots, and if I do that, I will get 2 points for that. So that is it for my turn. Siesta track, he is not going to move, and again, we already discussed earlier, neutral player is not going to move. So we just stack my move on to the next round here. Go ahead and grab this one. We'll move these dice up and go ahead.
Hey folks, Jason here with Pips-N-Chits. Up to this point, I hope you enjoyed my solo playthrough of La Granja no Siesta, published by Stronghold Games. I went ahead and decided to edit this into two separate videos, only because of the length of the video during the editing process. In this first episode, you witnessed the setup of the game and watched me play the first third of the game. If you go ahead and continue on, which I hope that you do, in the second video, you'll see me play the remainder of the game and final scoring, and I'll go ahead and give some of my final thoughts on that. If you enjoy these videos, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, or even better yet, subscribe. Go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you, and until next time, this is Jason again with Pips-N-Chits.